Hello, and welcome to the Shiba Chat show. This is your podcast for all things Shiba Inu. On Shiba Chat, you will learn about health, training, education, nutrition, grooming, art, owner stories, and experiences about our beloved, fluffy, and natural monument of Japan, the Shiba Inu. We will be helpful and fun, full of guests like Shiba owners, trainers, nerds, and experts from around the globe. Now, here is your host, directly from Portugal, Charlie Mancini.
In this first episode, we are going to have a chat with Sarah Anarna from Los Angeles. She is the mom of a lookalike raccoon, Etsu the curietsu, aka a female black and tan Shiba Inu. She got Etsu on May 13th, 2020. She loves dog training because it deepens the relationship between the owner and the dog. And Sarah Anarna enjoys sharing everything on Instagram and her blog about their journey. If you want to follow Sarah and her beautiful Shiba Etsu, you can follow their Instagram at Etsu and Me. This is ETSU and Me, or the blog at etsuandme.com. Okay, Sarah, welcome to the Shiba Chat show.
Hi, how's it
there.
going?
Yeah, everything's good here in Portugal. So, how went your night yesterday? It was the Oscars?
It was, but I did not get to watch it.
Yeah, me neither.
Did you?
No,
okay,
me neither.
okay.
I haven't seen any movie. I've been researching Shiba Inu breed a lot, and dog training, so I don't have the time to watch movies. Only movies with
Right,
Shiba Inus. Yeah.
right. Or YouTube videos and Instagram or TikTok.
So for you, how do you describe a Shiba for a person that didn't have contact with this sort of breed?
I mean, I'm kind of a firm believer that every dog is different. So I guess one way to generalize the Shibas is that they are fairly curious and fairly independent. So they are a primitive breed and have that level of independence, and they are some of the most loyal dogs you could have. But they are the kind of dog that needs a relationship with their owner.
Okay, that's really the focus. You focus a lot about the relationship between the dog and his or her owner. How and when did you become a dog trainer? It's been a while. It's a recent métier for you.
I mean, I would say, I think it's actually Cherie Wolf Lucas that talks about how some dog owners are dog trainers before they even know it. And I would say I've always loved training my dog ever since I was 6. My grandparents joked around about how I would stay with my dog the whole day and just like train or play. But in terms of like professional dog training, it's been recent. I think I just recently finally started sharing it on social media. It started back in August. Really, that's when friends and family members kind of like started asking me to help them, but I didn't really talk about it online until recently.
Okay, so yeah, it's a recent métier for you, like an official job. Are you a full-time dog trainer?
I'm primarily an actor, so I actually
that's it.
am primarily an actor, and then I do dog training on the side.
Okay, cool. Different experiences. Have you been in a movie with other dogs involved, or was it only person-to-person relationship? When you were acting in a movie or a series, have you been in contact with dogs, or it never happened before for you?
Not for film.
Okay.
Not for film. For commercials, I do tend to get the dog.
Okay.
Most of the time. They usually just kind of hire a few different actors for the scene, and then they say, "Oh, you look like you'd be a dog person," and they hand you the dog, and that just tends to be me.
So, for you, when building a relationship with Shiba, what's the difference between Shiba and all the other Spitz breeds, like the Huskies? I know that you had Huskies before. You found a subtle difference, right? Can you tell the audience about it, please?
Yeah, I mean, again, I am a firm believer that like what is known about the Shibas, what you see online, the memes are very surface level in terms of what Shibas really are like. There's just so much more to them, such as like I said, their loyalty, how much they love their owners and will choose their owners. If you have a good relationship with them, if you have developed pack drive, they will follow you. And I say that if you have pack drive, they will follow you because that does need work. It is something that needs repetition. It needs like practice day by day. I think one thing with Spitz breeds that is common is they always say, oh, they don't have recall. Like, how can you have an off-leash Husky? How can you have an off-leash Shiba Inu? They have no recall. But to me, that comes down to, again, relationship. And though that is similar, I think what is different is the way they interact with you when you are training, when you are building a relationship. Like, it's a nuanced thing that I don't fully have the words. It's more so in how they look at you, how they engage with you. Huskies, in my experience, have been a little bit easier to please in terms of relationship. They are more eager. They have a more fun or quote unquote outgoing temperament than Shibas. They're like super playful. They can be outgoing. Some of them have personalities are more outgoing than others, but at the core of it, I I feel are a little bit more independent.
So the stereotype that says that Shiba Inu is a cat operating system in dog hardware with a dolphin sound card, it fits well, but not that well. It depends on the temperament of each individual dog, no?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if the dolphins, I told yesterday to the other guest, to Joyce Wong, I don't know if the dolphins have this scream. They don't have the Shiba scream. or the
Yeah.
crying scene.
I will say the Shiba scream is nothing like anything else.
yeah.
It is very, very particular. I think even from the moment,
It's
yes,
unique.
even from the moment they are puppies, you will, like sometimes those who don't have Shibas, if they see videos, they can see videos of puppies like crying and they will ask, oh, is that a Shiba scream? But if you have to ask if it's a Shiba scream, it's probably not a Shiba scream.
Because you will know when they do scream, right?
Yes. It is very particular.
Okay, what's the most common complaint about dog behavior that you listen frequently, and this applies to all dog breeds?
I would say that their dog is too stubborn or that their dog doesn't listen to them. Like their dog will pay attention to everything else but them. Their dog will get ahead of them during the walk. Their dog will pull. Those are the most common things, I think. And then a couple other ones may be like they will say, oh, my dog's aggressive, but really their dog isn't exactly aggressive. It may be reactive, but those are some of the misunderstandings as well.
Yeah, so those are the main complaints that people tell you frequently, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of like different things going on. Usually, when someone is, for the lack of better words, letting me know that their dog is not paying attention to them or that their dog is stubborn, there's a lot of other layers there that, or there's other behavior issues that are going on as well. It's never just what they said it is, though that may be their main priority. There's also usually things like if a dog is pulling, then that already tells me that there's some engagement that is lacking. That even if they don't tell me that their dog doesn't really pay attention to them, if their dog is constantly pulling during the walk, I already know that their dog isn't paying attention to them. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of despise. They despise the owners or something, and they just move ahead of them and they turn their back to the owners. Yeah. So any tip or advice you have to new Shiba owners, to a person that is thinking about getting one Shiba to his or her family?
I think I have a few.
Okay. We have time. We have time.
My first one is start training from the moment they come home. And training does not necessarily always look like the fancy stuff. Like most of training is gonna be like putting them in a crate, creating structure, creating a schedule, making sure that they, I mean, if it's a puppy, making sure that they have time to go out, regularly for potty, but also afterwards putting them in the crate right after, making sure there's scheduled playtime with you as the owner or whoever else is family, so that they're building a relationship with you. To me, playing with them is also part of training. So that's kind of why I say, like, start training the moment they come home. Whether that's engagement as well, like feeding them for every time they make eye contact with you. I guess my second advice would be to hand feed. I know they're going to be puppies usually when they come home, but that is the perfect time to hand feed, because hand feeding specifically builds relationship, and hand feeding creates an opportunity for you to train without overfeeding. So that's a big thing as well. You can train with a regular food, if that's kibble, and as opposed to just using treats, right? So that would be my second one. The third one is keep your world small, or keep the dog's world small, and don't give it too much freedom right away. Meaning, don't let it go on furniture right away. Don't let it go have free roam in the house right away, because that's usually when accidents will happen. They'll end up getting really excited and they'll accidentally go potty in the house, or they don't have control of, they don't know how, they're not housebroken yet. They don't have the understanding of, hey, don't go inside, so they might accidentally poop inside, so make sure you don't give them too much freedom that is unsupervised, or even if it is supervised, again, keeping your world small first is a really great way to introduce the house and the structure.
Okay, so within the first months, when the dog is a puppy, you don't recommend for people to give them too much space, or to roam in the house, and so do you recommend that just keep their world like a small world, and then depending on the education and the training they receive, to start incrementing more freedom? And that's a matter of love. It's love, no?
Yeah, it's definitely love, because there's that saying, with great freedom comes great responsibility, right? And I think that goes hand in hand with dogs as well, that we can kind of forget sometimes, because we have this idea that to love a dog means to let a dog have all the freedom and the play, but that can also put them in danger. Usually when we give them too much freedom too soon, without, like you said, slowly incrementing it based on the training, that's when, especially Shibas, they are notorious for getting out of the house. That's when they might dart through the door. That's when they might accidentally get out, and you don't know how to get them back, and they have no recall. And those are some really, really scary stuff. And that happens very frequently with Shibas. Like, they will door dash, per se. And, like the dog is free roaming inside the house. Someone walks in, and next thing you know, the Shiba comes running through the door, and no one knows where their Shiba went. So yeah, that's some of my reasons for that, if that makes sense.
Okay, those are good tips for a newbie in this Shiba world, like me, like myself, and my family. So it's very useful information from your side. What do people tend to tell you when they see Etsu? Like, you're walking him on the streets. What was the funniest thing that people told you so far about Etsu?
Like the funniest?
Yeah, the funniest.
Well, I think I would call this the funniest, but definitely in the moment, it was very awkward.
Okay,
But
please share with us.
I was training Etsu, and I was hand feeding her. Like, it was very, very obvious. I had her bowl of food out, and we were outdoors in the parking lot. And I had her on a down, and we were just working on foundations. And a lady passes by us. Ironically, I actually have this all in video because I was trying to film our training session for Instagram. And this girl just comes up to us and says, "Oh, she wants me to pet her." And I was like, wait. What? I'm sorry, can you say that again? I wasn't sure if I heard her correctly. And she said she's laying down because she wants me to pet her. And
Really?
immediately I was like, oh, no, she's on a down because we're training.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah.
Such a strange situation.
It was definitely awkward. I mean, I think it's funny now because...
But you were a bit scared, no?
Huh?
You were a bit scared when that happened. When the girl told, oh, she's behaving like this because she was... Whoa.
I was definitely taken aback. Like, I think it makes me nervous when people attempt to get super close to us and try to invade our space, especially when we're in training, and then make assumptions of such as, oh, she wants me to pet her and that's why she's laying down. Because I've had more experiences where people attempt to pet her without making assumptions. It's like, I know how to handle those, but it's not common for me to run into a situation where...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not normal at all. You girl, if you're listening to the Shiba Chat show... Oh my god. Okay.
You are listening to the Shiba Chat show, your podcast for all things Shiba Inu, celebrating the Doge community around the planet. Feel free to share this podcast with your friends and follow Satoshi, Charlie Mancini Shiba, at instagram.com/satoshi.theshiba. The show will continue right now.
Let's continue. Favorite books. Do you have a book about Shiba Inu that you recommend, like a novel or other sort of... No? Only like general dogs book?
I think, okay, when it comes to books or movies specifically on Shibas, I'm terrible. I think I just haven't found a lot that...
Yeah, do you know the Tale of Mary and the Three Puppies?
I do not.
You do not?
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's a Japanese movie. It was released in 2007. It occurred. It was a real story about Mary, a Shiba, and she was very brave and loyal to her family, and she saved the family because of the earthquake that happened in a specific region in Japan in 2004. So I guess the movie is from 2007, and it's called The Tale of Mary and Three Puppies. I guess that's the correct name.
Okay, I do know about that story.
Okay.
I've just never seen the movie.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's a Japanese movie, and it's a strong movie, and it's well made. You can watch it.
That's
Tale
awesome.
of Mary. It's like Mari. Okay.
Okay. I will definitely have to watch that.
What about vlogs or Instagram profiles? Do you follow them? Like Shiba related?
I think, well, it's funny because most of the things I follow on Instagram are training related because that's to me very intriguing.
Okay.
So in terms of Instagram, that may not only be Shiba related, but the guy has two Shibas. One of my favorite accounts is Okami Canine.
Yeah. It was mentioned yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is hilarious.
Maybe we can have him on this show, no? As a guest.
Yeah, I think he would provide a lot of insight, especially because he does have two Shibas.
Oh.
He also lives in Canada. I think he lives in a similar area, or maybe close to Joyce. I'm not 100% sure. But I will say that there's kind of this been like almost like a joke kind of where he's been called the Shiba guy in their area.
Really?
Because he tends to get a lot of Shiba owners, especially because he does have two Shibas of his own. So I would say like that's one of my favorite Instagram accounts.
Yeah. Can you tell the audience what's the name for people to search on Instagram, please?
Yes. His Instagram handle is Okami, Okami, and then K9.
Okay, K9.
And
Oh,
his account should
yes.
pop up fast.
Okay, so Okami K9.
Yeah, he's actually, I've also worked with him as my trainer with Etsu. So at one point, we did a couple of virtuals, and even to this day, he's kind of served as a mentor in a sense for me. I definitely, in terms of my training with other clients, I definitely implement a lot of his methods as well that he has learned from his own mentors.
Okay. So it's behavior-based training, bridging the gap between the human and canine minds.
Yes,
Cool,
that is
cool.
his.
Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Toronto. You have
Sorry,
here
Gons,
the street. Yeah.
I should have known Gons.
You have the other movie, but it's about Akita with Richard Gere. Hachiko? No?
I think I have.
Yeah, but it features Shiba Inu when Hachiko is a small puppy. It's not an Akita, actually. They shot a Shiba. Did you know that? I've made some research.
And maybe I haven't. Maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of then.
It's called, I don't know, Hachiko. Yeah, it's based on the Akita Inu that is on Shibuya station, the statue and everything. But I can go to IMDb. It's better. I think it's Hachiko, and then it must have any other title.
Do you know where you watched it? Like, was it an online service like Netflix or something?
No, it was on cable TV. You know, like the movie channels.
Okay.
I was on the box and putting, the recordings. It's called Dog's Tale. A Dog's Tale. 2009.
Got it.
Yeah, and there's a bronze statue of Hachiko. It's sitting in his waiting spot outside the Shibuya railroad station. It's very beautiful, this story. I think it happened in the 20s, actually, of the 20th century. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Extremely emotional.
Yes. Oh, I was just going to say, I feel like a lot of movies and films with dogs tend to be very emotional. It just hits us very differently, you know?
Hachiko, he died in March 1934. Yeah, it's a very sad story. As you told, it's very moving, and it's like a college professor bonds with an abandoned dog he takes into his home, and he falls deeply in love with the dog, of course.
Aw.
Yeah. But you should have like tissues, you know, like to watch this kind of movie. So
Yeah.
about books, you told us before that you read mainly dog training, so it's like general breeds, vlogs, Instagram profiles. And what about music? Do you know any like funny song about Doge, about the Shiba Inu breed?
Oh man, not specifically. I will say, um, there's a couple of songs that kind of get stuck in my head sometimes because a lot of the people I follow will make reels, Instagram reels or TikTok videos
Oh, I see.
with their Shibas.
And they use
And
those
I do
songs,
find
right? They use those
yeah,
songs. Yeah, like funny ones.
yeah. So it's not the song in itself is not specifically for Shibas that I know of, but I associate those songs with Shibas in my head because of the videos I've seen.
Okay. Yes, but you weren't seeking for any songs like Shiba songs, but yeah, in those reels and TikTok videos, you've listened to them. Yeah, they are mainly
Yeah,
like focused on Doge meme, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Where were your first contact with the Shiba Inu breed?
I mean, I feel like I've occasionally seen them around, so I would say if we're gonna say surface level contact, like had to have been several years ago, at least over 5 years ago, when I kind of first saw them. I think I was back in Sacramento, and I was just walking to a coffee shop, and I saw two.
Yeah.
Um,
What was your reaction, your first reaction?
my first reaction was that, oh, they remind me of like smaller versions of my huskies. Because I saw two specifically, and I had two huskies.
Okay.
So that was like my first initial thought. And my secondary thought was like, I am usually more of a larger breed dog, but if I ever got a dog that was smaller than my huskies, it would be a Shiba.
Yeah, but so it took you how many years for you to finally meet Etsu? Um, between that first experience you told us.
So that first experience was at least 5 years ago. I don't even know exactly how long ago, but I didn't actually get Etsu until last year, last May. So I would say that I waited for her, or at least I was waiting for a Shiba for about a year and a half.
Oof.
And I was on the list with several
Yeah.
breeders for that long. And then if we're gonna talk about like at what point did I start researching more about Shibas, getting familiar with the dogs, that was from today. That was at the very least 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I started researching about Shibas way before I even put myself on the waiting list for Shibas, which looking back now, if anyone is even considering getting a Shiba and getting it from a reputable breeder, not a backyard breeder, I would recommend first getting on the waiting list and then doing more research because you just don't know how long you'll be waiting.
I see. So do you think the popularity raised from back when you started researching about the breed?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's slowly increased in terms of popularity, but even more so now. I mean, it's possible that I just feel this way because I am more involved now that I have Etsu. I am totally open to that. But the fact that there's a Dogecoin now tells me
And now there's the
that
Shiba Inu token as well.
yes, and the fact that these things are happening very recently tells me that the popularity is still growing.
Blame Elon
yeah.
Musk. Blame him.
Right.
Okay. So I've read on a book, the Book of Dogs and Canines, page 21, an Hungarian study called "Do Dogs Understand Us?" And I quote, "Without dogs, we wouldn't be the humans we are. We have the oldest interspecies relationship in history." Do you agree with this, that without dogs, you wouldn't be the human you are today, Sarah?
I definitely do, 100%. So I am Christian, and I have joked around several times that I feel like God taught me more about His love the moment I started learning how to love Etsu better.
Yeah.
I think, like, I'm sure people say this about their kids, but in my personal journey, Etsu has been used to teach me how unconditionally loved I am, regardless of any mistakes I may make, but also how to love people and how to love living beings in the midst of imperfect situations. So yeah.
And for you, it's such a blessing to have her around, right?
It's a huge, huge blessing. It changes your life. And I will say, I think one of the reasons I'm so motivated to train her is because that blessing is magnified in the midst of training. Like, it's easy to forget the blessings if we allow our dogs to not have boundaries, if we allow our dogs to derail the structure of the home. But the more we train our dogs, the more they understand us and we understand them, the more our quality of life increases, and the more we can go out in public places. We can go out with them in public, in coffee shops, post-COVID, and enjoy them. We don't have to feel so worried or anxious about how they're going to react because we've done the training. So yeah, I think that's the main reason I also train her, is because she is a blessing, and for my own sake and for our relationship's sake, training her maintains that perspective.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Sarah. Thanks for being here with us and telling your experience. How do you describe Etsu's temperament? If people do not follow your blog or your social networks, what is the best definition about Etsu in specifically?
Specifically for Etsu, I call her Etsu the curietsu because she is literally curious about anything and everything. I think the best way to describe her, other than that nickname, is literally how the breeder described her. And when I was talking to her about Etsu, she said that she is the kind of dog that just loves love. And that's literally, I can 100% agree, that is just exactly like her. She is more affection motivated than she is food motivated. There are moments that she won't take food, but she will engage with me for the sake of just being with me and spending time with me, hanging out with me, getting eye contact from me. So yeah, that is Etsu. Is a dog who just loves love.
Yes, the dog who just loves love. And a little bit of treats and the food now and then, but mainly love.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, she's fully on a fresh, raw diet, so she loves her raw meat.
Okay. Yeah, food-wise, do you recommend that? Is it barf? That kind of diet?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I use like supplements for a couple other things, but for the most part, we base her food out of either like fresh, raw, or dehydrated single ingredient items.
I see.
So yeah.
So what's the main dishes? You're always making different dishes for her, or does Etsu follow like a regular diet, like eating all the time the same thing over and over again? I guess not.
I would say it's not exactly too different every day. I would say the portions may be different a day, or I may change one or two things.
Okay, according to the training and the activity you choose for the days.
Yes, exactly. Like for the most part, her fresh raw is from Happy Dog, and they just deliver the meat. The first time I did it, she was on beef, and then I would supplement that with green lip mussels, salmon. I would dehydrate some chicken as well, and those would be used as like part of her protein. And then I would just grab some like vegetables to add so that she can get her iron and other nutrients and stuff. And now I've kind of done this thing where every 3 months I will change the primary protein to something else. So instead of beef, she's on, I believe she's on chicken right now, primarily.
Okay. Poultry.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll change the primary meat or the primary protein. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much, Sarah, for being on our show. You were the second guest.
Thanks for having me.
And I think we will talk often. Yes, because you can get on a deeper level being a dog trainer. And that's it. I'm very grateful for you and Etsu. Where is Etsu? Can we see her?
She is here. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Maybe we can have a Shiba Chat with Etsu.
Yeah.
How do you call her? Hello.
I call her Etsu the curietsu.
Ah, curietsu. Etsu.
Yes, because she's very curious.
So cute. What about being black and tan? Do people notice that she is a Shiba Inu, or being that color? Sometimes she's in disguise, like a Shiba in disguise, like a secret agent.
She's definitely a Shiba in disguise.
Yeah.
Most people assume that she's a husky.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny to me. Or they'll mention like an Akita puppy for some reason. So they'll always think that she's a puppy, but she might be like a larger breed, such as an Akita or something else. And they're always surprised when I say, no, she's actually full grown.
Yeah, I think that happens with everybody who owns Shibas. Shiba Chat.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Shiba Chat Show. And now it's time for you to go play with a Shiba Inu. If you'd like to get in touch, please send us an email to shibachatshow@gmail.com. Bye for now.